next dream in my pack of dreams that I had is I was at some kind of a computer convention. But it didn't start out that way. I was riding my bike, and I was riding it around in what I had a feeling that I was in unfamiliar territory. That I had just gone out and rode my bike and I was basically wherever. I didn't know the area at all. And I'm just riding my bike, and it looked almost like a country road. And anyway, I'm just riding, and I look to my left and I see this big theater-looking building. And on the outside was a video screen, and it was rotating some kind of logo. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, that's that computer convention that they've got going on right now. And so I stopped, and I walked in. Apparently didn't have to pay, and apparently I could get right in. But I walked in, I'm just kind of looking around it, and just in awe at all these different computer systems and everything else. And I just started kind of walking around and looking at everything, and I remember thinking to myself, boy, the attendance is really down. There's hardly anybody here. And this guy, who I haven't seen him since just after I graduated high school, because I worked with him out of high school for maybe 6 months. And I haven't seen or heard from him since. But he's standing next to me, and he says, yeah, he says, you know, it's a shame that all these other big conventions are taking away all of our glory or something. He said, we'll be lucky if we can get this place next year. And I just started walking through with the guy, and he was kind of giving me a tour. And I saw a few other people that I knew out of high school. They were sitting there gaming and showing off all their, you know, stuff. And the guy that I was walking with seemed to almost have a leading role, because he was going around and he was, you know, using these touch screens, and I just had the feeling like he was checking on things to make sure it was okay. And we get into this big open area, and what's weird about it is it looked like it was on a field. There was grass, and I could see a big hill, and literally stuff was bumped up against this hill. And I just I thought to myself, the budget must be going down if they have to use the outside of this arena. And the guy that was walking with me kind of disappeared. And I looked off, just kind of scoping this wall, and there was a big, what looked like library, open library. There were bookshelves and things all over the place. And I thought to myself, wow, well, this is the way that it used to be. Now everything's on computers. And I'm surprised they still have this book area. And it was quite confusing for me, because I wasn't sure exactly what I was supposed to do. And I'm just kind of walking around. Well, the next thing I know is there's nobody in there except for me and this one guy. And he says, well, this is probably it. We've packed everything up, and I don't think we're going to be here next year. And I'm looking around at this empty building, and I just said, you know, that's just too bad. And I look outside, and it's like pitch black out there. And I said, well, geez, I get a ride home in this. And he said, yeah, I'm sorry, my car is full. I wish I could help you. So I start walking out, and I said to him, I said, "Hey, well, let me get your phone number. Maybe you can keep me updated on next year's convention." And he says, "There's not going to be one. I already know it." And he says, "It's best if we just part now and you run off and I'll drive away." And I said, "That's too bad." And he said, "Yeah, it was nice knowing you." And he gets in his car. It looks like an old 80s Toyota Corolla or something, and it's just packed. And I looked at the rear end of the car, and it was like almost to the ground because he had so much computer stuff in there and so on. And it reminded me of the typical college student, on a budget, driving around kind of a crappy car, whatever. It's just what it reminded me of. So I just found it pretty interesting that I was thinking about a computer convention. And I really don't know why. And those people, the guy that I haven't seen, I haven't thought about him, or at least I don't remember thinking about him, long years and years and years. So it's kind of weird that face in person would just kind of pop up out of nowhere. I can't explain it. But some scary emotions in there when I felt like I was lost and it was dark out there at the end of the dream, and I just felt like I'll never find my way kind of feeling. I don't know. Definitely a weird dream.